Good morning, everybody. Annette here, also known as Grandma D. We are in the final installment, which is part 3 of the windmill bag. This is a RebsFabStash provided pattern through their stash box. If you're interested in obtaining the RebsFabStash box, you can use my affiliate link, which will be in the notes below if you so are inclined, and go to their website and sign up for that. That's a monthly subscription box that they have currently with tons of little projects in there. As I've said in the past, we all love to get fabric and we all love to get, notions and stuff like that. That's great. But I love the fact that they provide little projects. You get a block of the month, things like this handbag, the apron I wear in my cooking videos. I have a whole bunch more little projects over here that I'm planning on working on over the next couple of months. And it's going to be a good time. Their stuff is really wonderful. And I'm sure if you signed up for the stash box that you would be a fan as well. So we have yesterday in the last video, we finished the interior of the bag and we did the straps and put the straps on. Now the straps are pinned in place, and yesterday I had tried on the bag in the last video and I thought it was a little long, so I have marked right there is a mark on my fabric. I marked down 1 inch and I raised my straps up 1 inch. So now when I sew that, I'm going to be sewing right across here, sewing my straps on, and I'm going to go back and forth several times when I sew them together to make sure that they're secured. And I tried the bag on this morning, and after I raised it 1 inch, and I felt like it was better. Yesterday it was like way down here, and I mean that's 1 inch on each strap that it's coming up. So for the 2 straps, that's much better because I'll be able to get into my interior pocket very easily if I'm busy and got things going on. And I like to just walk like this. My other bag is a crossbody, and I just like to walk like this. I feel more secure with my purse. I mean, everybody's stealing everything from everybody, it seems like sometimes. And so what we're going to do is we are going to sew these straps on. I'm going to clip them off. Okay, let me get this back around here. I'm going to clip these down across my line, and they're pinned where I want them. So then I'm going to sew them on. So I'm going to clip these ends off and get set up at the machine, and I'll be right back. So I clipped off my ends on my straps right here, and this is the end of one that I clipped off. This is 1 inch. And what I did is I went all the way around again and checked every strap to make sure that it's centered and lined up on the point, so that the point is like in the center. Because what will happen is if you're off kilter one way or the other and you're sewing your strap on, it's going to be off on the bag and it's going to pull. And you're going to notice it. It doesn't have to be much. If the strap isn't straight, you're going to feel a pull. So then I lined them up, and I made sure visually that I had about the same amount of strap sticking out above each of my straps, the point sticking out above each of my straps, so that they're evenly spaced and evenly like up and down and vertically and all the things. So I am going to go ahead and we're going to start sewing these straps on here. And we're sewing the strap to the right side of the bag, of the inner part of the bag. And then we're going to put the one bag inside of the other one with everything right sides together and make sure the straps are down inside the bag. Then we're going to sew across the top. And put the bag together so that we can turn it right side out. So we are super close to being done here. That's pretty exciting. It's getting close. And so I'm going to do this. This is one of the arms, or one of the straps, I'm sorry, of the bag. It's a little fiddly because you're at the tip. So you just want to make sure it's straight. And so all the way across, I'm going to go back and forth probably at least 3 times just to secure it. And you want to just visually make sure it's straight on there. Make sure you can see your point. And I'm going to go at like 1/4 inch across my strap and just make sure it's on there. Back, go back again, there. Now that first one is sewed in place. Let's take it off here and have a look. Now that is sewn on there. Let's bring it back up here. The lighting is better. The lighting will get better when I get some different lights, but we'll get there. So now that's sewed on, so that, see there? Okay. Now when we sew the whole thing together, the inside to the outside, it's going to come up here and you're going to have 1/4 inch. I don't know. I think it's 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. I have to look. It may be 1/2 inch. And then, so your seam here will be again reinforced with your seam going this way. Your strap isn't going to go anywhere. So I'm going to do the other 3 sections of strap that I have to sew on, and we'll get ready to put the bag together. So I have all the straps sewn on, and this is what one looks like right here as an example. This is what it looks like. I think this one is off just a tiny little bit now that I look at it from the back, but I'm just going to leave it because I got it sewed 3 times and I don't want to have to undo it. So, you know, nobody's perfect. You measure, 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 and check, 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 and you're like, oh, that's still not right. That's okay. It happens. So anyways, what I did is when I put this in place with my point sticking out, you can see where the fabric starts here and the fabric starts here. And I use those as my marker points to go back and forth on every one of my straps. 1, 2, 3, just to make sure that it was secured. And so now we have all the straps on, sewed in place. And so the next step is to put the bag together. So what you have to do is the outer part of the bag, you have to put the bag together right sides together with the straps down inside. So I have the outer part of the bag already turned inside out. And we're going to take this one, we're going to leave it right side out, okay? And you want to make sure that your straps are down, and we're going to drop everything down into the outer part of the bag like this. Okay, and then we're going to find a point. Now, when you do this, you're going to see this, you know, because you got to put the right sides together. So you want to have this set up so that the right side of the inner part is facing the right side of the bag. And you will check your points. Put your points together. Let's do a pin. Oops. You know, and I just want one more little tidbit that you might be like, gee, I never thought of that. If you have a metal ironing board like I do, and you have a magnetic pin holder, it sticks pretty well. My little RebsFabStash one that I have over here, a lot of times I use this to pin and prep stuff, and I put it down here on the end and it sticks like crazy. So then if you bump it with your iron, it isn't going to go whoosh off the ironing board, and you can keep pins at your ironing board and you don't have to worry. This is the top part of a Dritz magnetic pin holder. The bottom part broke, and so I threw it away, and this is the top part, which I still keep, that's magnetized. And I'll just put it up here. it works really great. It's pretty handy little thing to have. If you don't have a magnetic pin holder, I mean, you can get them. I got this one at Joann's. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You know, sewing, I mean, there's a lot of great gadgets out there. You know, there's a lot of wonderful things that these people have made that they market to us, that they say we need to have. And me, you know, I've got some things. I've gone down the rabbit hole. You know, I've drank the Kool-Aid and bought some stuff, and that's fine. I mean, you know, I never thought I would have a Singer sewing machine that is so schmancy as the one I have now. I mean, this is a very updated, souped up version of my old Kenmore that's in the closet, because it takes cams. You open up the top and you got a cam that you drop in the top and you set the knobs on it, and it sews all kinds of stitches. It was my mother's, and I've probably got, oh gosh, 3 cases like this of cams, and they're all lined up in there, and it does all kinds of stitches. I have done decorative stitches on quilts with it and different things, and it's not push button. It's not electronic. So there's not a lot to break down, you know. So there's a lot to be said for an older machine. I mean, I love my Singer, and I sing its praises. Boy, that's really thick right there with the strap and the 2 layers of fabric. But, you know, you got to do what you can afford. You know, I would probably, if you're going to be quilting and sewing a lot, and you're planning on like maybe making stuff to sell or having an Etsy store, or like this, doing stuff on YouTube, I probably would not go like to Walmart or something and get a $75 machine, because they're really noisy and they don't have much on them. I mean, if all you're looking for is a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch, that might be just fine. But if you want to expand and do more things, it might not be the machine for you. So just think about it. And if you have any questions, you know, I'm not a professional, but I've used Singer machines. I've used Brother machines. I've got my Kenmore in the closet. Singer, Brother, Kenmore. I think that's it. I have never had a Juki or anything like that that's super schmancy. But if you've got a Singer and you got an issue, send me an email at grandmad2024@gmail.com. And if I can help you out, I will. Or I may say, you know what, you're going to have to take it to the guy, because that sounds like it's out of my wheelhouse. But yeah, and so anyways, and you want to match up your points down here at the bottom, these points right here at the bottom of your V, and pin all the way around. And I'm going to get this pinned, and we will come back and sew it together. So I have this all pinned together now. It's all ready to sew together. And I did notice as I was pinning that my interfacing is kind of letting go a little bit on the edge. I probably didn't hit it like super well with my iron. So I thought I would point out that because we're sewing this on the 1/2 inch, this is my 1/2 inch mark on my ruler, and you can see that we're going to catch that interfacing when we sew it together. That's what I meant when I said earlier in the first video that interfacing, iron-on interfacing, is not an exact science. You don't have to be like perfect, but you want to be close but not perfect, because you can catch it in your seam and like then you know it's going to stay put. You can use the sew-in interfacing if you want for projects, but this project, it probably is not applicable for that because you need it to hold on, and you'd be putting seams all the way around and then more seams, and it would just get ridiculous. So okay, so we are going to go ahead and sew this together. Now I'm just going to start and just go all the way around the bag, and I'm going to get set up here on the machine really quick. We're ready to sew around the top of the bag. And again, when you start and stop, you're going to want to backstitch a little bit just for extra stability, and we're sewing on the 1/2 inch with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And you just want to be mindful. Like I said in my first video, I said be mindful of your pins, and bam, I hit a pin. So, you know, you got to be thinking about that as you're going along, that you don't want to hit your pins. And you want to just kind of feel as you go and kind of make sure that your straps are down in the bottom of your bag. And, you know, I've seen people before, they have actually like pinned their straps down in the bottom of the bag so that it makes sure that they stay down in the bottom where they belong. But I'm pretty confident that this is going to be fine. And when you get down to your bottom of your V, you're going to have to make that turn. So you want to watch where that's at. And you can always mark it. I mean, you can take your ruler and your friction pen or just a pencil. You know, it's on the inside. Nobody's going to see it. And you can mark it so that you know where to pivot. On your V, you know where to pivot. I can show you that really quick. Right here. This is my point right there. That's my first point that I came around. And then you can, you put a mark down there with a ruler, and it will help you to know where to pivot. Now, I did not do that. I don't feel that I need that, but some people might, and that's fine. If you're a beginner and you're not comfortable making those kind of pivots and stuff without a mark, by all means do it. Do it, do it, do it, because you will regret it if you don't, because your corner will be off. See, I'm off a little bit right there on my fabric. I got a little bump there, but that's okay. I'm not even going to worry about it. So now we're going to come up here. And I got to pull that pin out. And I'm going to come up here I'm going to try and hold the phone still so that I can show you. I'm going to come up here to where I feel I'm pretty good on point. And I'm going to turn my bag. Put my presser foot down. And I'm going to continue, which sews my strap in place. So I am going to move forward and go on around the top of the bag, and then we'll turn the bag. One more thing here that I think is worth mentioning is where the strap is right here. You can feel it. If you're unsure where it's at, you can feel it, and you can actually almost see it. I can see it. I don't know if you can. It's right there and right there. So I can feel it in there, and I know where it is in the process of sewing this corner. This is my last turn. I'm actually going to come right around to here. And as you can see, I did catch my interfacing. I missed it a little bit there, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll hold up fine. And we're very close to having it done. Okay, so I have it all sewn all the way around the outside. And so we are going to do a little clipping here to make these corners up here where the straps are a little easier. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of bulk going on right there. Now, you don't want to clip this. I would not clip this cross seam too much. You know, it is sewn here. You probably could, but I would just be careful with that. And let's see, let's turn it around this way so you can see that seam. And then you can, just a second, my battery is low on my phone. I have to plug it in. Sorry about that. I had to improvise a little bit. My phone was low, the battery was low. So anyways, we're going to clip these down just a little bit. Now, where the seam is right there, where I sewed earlier, I really want to leave that seam alone because it just gives it more strength. So I'm going to cut real close to that seam and clip some of that bulk off. And then I'm going to clip my curves just a little bit here because I got a lot going on with the interfacing and everything else that's there on the corners. And you could actually clip them down long ways too if you needed to. It's not really necessary, but you could if you feel that it's too much, because this is right here. I'll turn around on this side. See, I clip that down a little bit closer to my seam up here at the top, and then I clip these. And you could like cut those down a little bit like that, and takes a little bit more of that bow, and you'd be amazed like what a difference that will make when you turn your bag around. Oh, just a little tiny bit can make a big difference when you are turning your bag right side out. Now, as I said before, this is my very first bag that I have ever made, and so I thought, well, we'll make mistakes and we'll learn together. That's what it's all about, right? And I'm a pretty experienced sewer, and I'm pretty confident in my abilities and what I know and what I don't know. But you know, this is a new project. I've never done it before. I've made pillows. I've sewn clothes for years, as I said before. And you know, but this is something new, and I thought, well, you know, I've been wanting to make this bag. I've had this pattern for a little while, and I'm like, let's just learn together as we go, and then you can learn some tips and tricks that maybe you didn't know. So I'm going to finish these last 2 points, and then we'll turn the bag. So we're ready to turn the bag. I'm a little nervous. I'm here telling you what to do. I hope it works out. So, and if it doesn't, well, you know, we'll just fix it. It's fine. So now we're going to go through our inner hole in the lining. We're going to turn everything right side out. Now we did double stitch that, you know, where the opening is, but I would still recommend, you know, being gentle with it. Don't be too pushy. So there it is. Let's put this down inside. Now we're going to have to sew that opening closed, and then we have to top stitch around the upper part of the bag here. Now I had a problem here that I knew was going to be a problem. I don't know what happened, but I got a lot of bulk right there. But when I top stitch it, you can work your fabric if you have too much, and we may have to go back in. Let me have a look here. Let me just have a quick look. Let me see. Now what we can do, I know what we'll do. Okay, let's turn the bag back wrong side out. You won't be doing this because you'll already have it done because I forgot. So I'm going to turn it back wrong side out. And where I sewed the top to the bag right here, sewed the 2 pieces of the bag together. Let me get this turned back the way it's supposed to be. Now down here in your lower V, you had your upper V that we did the clipping of the curves, but I forgot about the inner V. You got to do that too. So what you'll do is you'll clip down close to your point. Like, you want to be careful. You don't want to cut your thread, cut your seam, because I mean, if you cut too far, there's no going back. So, and then we'll clip on an angle a few times, and that will help ease that in so that it will, it'll lay better. I didn't even think about it. You know, I was so focused on the upper points, making sure that I did those. I just didn't think about it. So we have 4 inner V points that we need to clip like this. Okay. And again, you can clip those out a little bit if you want to, but you got to be careful because you don't want to clip your seam. Go very small. And these little scissors that I have, I bought these off of Amazon, and I saw them and I looked at the reviews and they had excellent reviews. They are fantastic. I bought them for doing applique, because I do a lot of applique. We're going to do that down the road too. It's so fun. And but this little point right here, it is so wonderful for applique. It gets right in those little corners, and when you clip, you can snip right at the tip, and they're pretty amazing little scissors, and they're not expensive. I will try and find them if I remember, and I will try and link them in the notes below. I am not an Amazon affiliate, and I do not get commissions from sales from them, but I mean, hey, if I can help a fellow sewer out, that's wonderful. Okay, I have all 4 of my corners clipped, so let's try this one more time and see what happens. So we got to turn this right side out again. Now you can, if you're still bulky, like I said, when we top stitch this, you can like ease that in and make it behave, and it will. It'll behave pretty well. But, you know, so, all right, let's see what we got now here. That's a little better. That's a little better. It is laying a little better now right there, because it was really bulky, and it's laying better now. So here's my bag. Isn't that pretty? Now we have to top stitch along the top like we did on the pocket and on these. And so there's my straps. That's good. That's a good length. And it's nice and big on the inside. It holds a lot of stuff. It's going to hold a lot of stuff, and I think it's going to be really great. Let me show you. So when you look down in here in the bag, you can see there's the pocket. There's the pocket, and there's our seam that we have to sew closed right here. And then we will top stitch all the way around here. I'm going to iron this first, and we will top stitch all the way around here, and it will lay flat and behave. So I'm going to go ahead and iron that so that we can do the top stitch. And the first thing we'll do is we will go in and sew that opening closed. Couple things while we're ironing. As I said before, when you're ironing where the seams are, you might have to roll it a little bit to get your seam to pop out of there. Or you can use a point turner and you can go in, which I probably could have done, but I'm not going to this time. But I probably could have done, and it would definitely make this lay down better. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of bulk right here, and I'm not sure if that's how that's supposed to be or if that's a normal thing, because like I said, this is my first bag. But I think it'll be fine, because when I come around here with the top stitch, it is going to make all that lay down and it'll be nice and flat. So I'm going to finish ironing this and we'll be back. So we are ready to sew the opening closed inside the bag. The directions indicate that you can sew it by hand. You can do it with a whip stitch and sew by hand. That would only take you maybe 10 minutes. You know, that's really easy. If you want a cleaner look, that was probably a great way to go. You can do that if you want. That's fine. I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to go just like we did on the bag handles, and we're going to do around the top of the bag and in a couple other on the pocket when we top stitched. We're going to do it here too. I'm going to start just ahead of the opening, and I'm going to get real close to the edge, and I'm just going to go right down here to the bottom of the opening. I'm going to back stitch in both places. Done. Take me like 5 minutes. And then I ironed this all the way around and the top of the bag, and I went ahead and pinned it. I'm a pinner, just saying, you know, use the pins, that's what they're for, because when you are top stitching the top of this bag, you don't want it to like accidentally roll and then you're seeing this all over like on the front. You know, you want to have your seam be at the top. Then as you top stitch, it looks really clean and you have a real nice look because even though I ironed it, sometimes it's hard to roll the fabric out. That's why, you know, a point turner would be good, but I just didn't do it. That's on me. So after I ironed it, I pinned it all the way around to make sure that it holds and everything looks good. And another thing I wanted to mention is how these points came out at the top of the bag. This is how it's supposed to look. I wasn't sure, you know, I thought it would be more pointy at the top. Now the directions, the photo in the front of the directions does show, if you look at it closely, you can see it's squared off at the top, just like this. So that is indeed how it's supposed to look. And I just wanted to verify that because somebody would say, oh, my points aren't straight at the top. I don't have points. Well, they kind of disappear because you've had to cut it. You've had to sew it across the top to hold it in place. And then when you sew your point, you're on a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you're down below your actual sew point where you hooked your strap to your bag. So that's why that happens. We are going, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew this closed. Now, I had to put my phone on the charger, so I'm hoping that I have enough of a charge now. No, it's still telling me my battery power is low. So, we'll try it. We'll see how this works. I'm going to try and put the phone right here and turn it there. There we go. It's a little crooked because I got the cord on there, but let's do this there. I'm hoping that that will be good for now. I didn't think about that this morning when I started filming. I totally forgot about putting my phone on the charger. So let's see. Here's the seam along the inside that we're going to top stitch and close up that hole where we turned the bag. And you want to make sure that you are up above your openings. You want to stick your finger in there, find the top of your opening, and you want to be real close to your edge. And I'm going to back stitch. This is on the inside. No one's going to see it unless you point it out to them. So, I mean, it's okay. You know, it'll be fine. And I know that's kind of hard to see because of where my phone is right now. But, you know, we'll get there. So, I will show you as soon as I get this done. And I'm so excited because this is such a cute bag and I'm so looking forward to being able to use it. And I might take it to work, carry stuff to work in it. It could go to the beach. It could go on trips. If you're taking a day trip and you've got children and your husband or your significant other, whoever that is, your family, and everybody needs stuff, this is going to be a great extra bag for that. And I love that it's crossbody. That is just so handy, and I really love it. So we're going to back stitch just a little bit, and we're going to pull that out. Let me cut my thread. Now that is back stitched right there. So that closes up. Well, I had a call come in. Of course, it messes everything up, you know. So I'm going to try and get my phone back on here again. There we go. Now, I have the seam inside sewn up, as I was showing you. This inner seam where we turned the bag, that's done. So now I'm going to go around the top, all the way around the top, and top stitch close to the edge. And then the bag will be finished. So I'm going to get started on that and go all the way around, very close to the edge, and backstitch a little bit when I get to the end, and I'll show you how that looks. We are moving along on the top stitching, and I just thought I would show you how close I'm getting to the edge of the project so that it looks really nice and clean and holds it in place, and it will make it look really nice and keep the top seam from rolling. You want to go slow and take your time. There's no rush. Then your seam is even and straight, and it will look really beautiful. Another thing that is worth mentioning, as you come around the bag and you're coming to like the inner V corners, you want to keep it like laid out flat, and you'll come down. It doesn't want to focus. You'll come down, and then you'll kitty corner across, and then you'll come back up. So it's not like down and up. If you follow the line, it's more curved, and that will create a better line on the outside of the bag. So I went all the way around the top, and I top stitched it all the way around, very close to the edge. And it did help these edges, these inner curves, lay down better for me. See, here's what I meant. Like right here, see, you can see the pink right there. I rolled that down very hard and pinned it, and it still wanted to peek up a little bit. And that, you know, that's why we pin, because I probably would have had a higher roll than that had I not pinned it. See, now this one turned out pretty good. And as I said, I shortened my straps about an inch all the way around to make it shorter. And I'll see how this goes. And, you know, if I think it's too long, still, I mean, what you can do is you can make a cut in your strap and then, you know, sew it together on the inside, and then, or you can overlay it, or, I mean, it's not going to look really pretty, but you can shorten the straps that way. Or if you really want to, you could take this apart and shorten your straps, but I'm good. I think it's a beautiful bag, and I really love it. It's big. It's big. I mean, it's a pretty big bag. It's bigger, actually, than I thought it was going to be. And that's great, because that's going to be a perfect bag for carrying through the airport and whatever. And it has this, you know, again, this beautiful pocket on the inside that is pretty large. And, you know, I could fit my whole hand in there. I mean, it's going to hold a lot of stuff. So this is it. This is the RebsFabStash offered in their stash box Windmill tote bag. And there she is. There she is. That's a beautiful bag. These were the directions that came in my stash box with my bag. And I'm super excited to finish this bag. And again, I am an affiliate with RebsFabStash, and my affiliate link will be in the notes below, along with, if I can locate it, the link to those little blue scissors. And they're on Amazon, and anything else I can think of. Also, since this is part 3, this is segment 3, I will link the first 2 videos in the notes below, so you can go back and watch those. And in the second link, I will have the second segment. I will have a link to the 3rd video and the 1st video. So, and such, and the first one, I'll link the next 2. So, you will be able to hopefully make this bag yourself. And I think it's a lot of fun, and Christy and all the crew at Rebs are great, and I hope that you will check them out. So, that's all we have for today. This is Grandma D with her Windmill bag. Signing off, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.